Greetings, this is Bishop Nolan McCants, and I have with me today Stephanie Egler, who is a creative and graphic genius, done a lot of work for me over the years. She is a co-owner of Sure Things Studios here in West Suburban Chicago. So I've invited her to talk about do's and don'ts of branding and then the essentials that are needed for effective ministry in a digital age. So Stephanie, welcome.
Thank you very much. Hello, hello.
So go ahead and give us the wisdom that we need. What are the do's and don'ts?
Um, I think one of the biggest do's is to figure out who your church is from a style or branding standpoint.
Okay.
A lot of churches that we've worked with will pick a style and then stick with it for about 30 seconds until they see something that somebody else is doing.
So
And
why are you
then
talking about me on camera?
it's not just you, it's everybody. Everybody does it. But what that does is it creates confusion with your audience, because 1 second you look like this, but now you look like this other church. Like, we have to figure out who we are, who we're supposed to be, and then stick with that. Like, figure out the best ways to convey who we are through our media.
Okay. Wonderful, wonderful. So those are the we got to do is to figure it out. The don't is the don't change up too often. And is there a process of thinking that through?
Absolutely. One of the ways to do that is to either survey yourself, as a leader of a church. Figure out um, maybe like 5 to 7 words that you would use to describe the direction you want to take the church, and
Okay.
then do another, like a smaller group of people who are really involved heavy in the church. How would they describe the church? And use just words. It doesn't have to be long paragraphs, but just words. And
Hmm.
from that word cloud, you can now develop um, specifics. So if the term used a lot is like, we're a family church, then you'll um, use colors and imagery that fit being a family church.
Very
And then
cool.
just, kind of go from there.
Very cool. All right. So it's a process, and it's a process that requires some thought. So now the tools. We have entered into a completely different era. You know, I've written the book, The Digital Pulpit, and in that, just talking about this day and age of virtual ministry. So now the need to be well equipped digitally is greater than ever before. What are some of the must-have tools for our digital toolkit?
Number one is a well-maintained website. You can have a website, but you have to update it regularly. So that means if you're on social media, which is great, if
Mm-hmm.
you're on there and you're promoting different events or activities with the church, um, do quick promos on social media, but always drive people back to your website. So that's your hub. That's where I get the bulk of the information about the church, about different things that are going on.
So
Um,
when you say regular updates, what does that cycle look like? What kind of a time frame should we be visiting that website to refresh it?
at least once a week.
Oh
So
wow.
your homepage should be changing out once a week. And I'm not saying like massive changes, but if you have a rotating banner, those banners should be changing out at least once a week. And
So we're
then
in
maybe,
total violation here. Yeah.
yes. And maybe you have one filler piece that changes weekly. So whether that's a sermon title or a new event, it could just be one thing that rotates regularly, so that when people come to your site, they know that it's fresh. I'm not looking at the same information over and over again, because if I go to your site this week and it's one thing, then I go back next week and it's the same thing, I probably won't come back a third time.
Got it. So it can't be static. It has to be dynamic. Wow.
Absolutely.
Okay. What else do we need?
Um, Social media presence.
Hmm.
That is, You don't necessarily have to be on every single social media platform, but
Hmm.
I would recommend at least the top ones. You know, you have Facebook, you have Instagram, you have YouTube, and you always want to be pushing content. So if you speak on a Sunday morning, have a person who pulls quotes that you can then go back and use those as review. And that can be filler content for the rest of your week until the next Sunday when you start that process all over again.
Cool, cool. Content's a big word these days.
Yes.
So content, whether it's video, whether it's some kind of graphic, uh, we just have to have something that's fresh going all the time. All right.
Yes.
What other tools?
Um, branding standards.
Okay,
That means
that's a
whenever
big one.
you're, yeah, whenever you're promoting something, there are a few items that you should always have attached to that. So if you're on social media and you put up a graphic, your graphic should have at least your logo or your church name. It
Okay,
should also list your contact information.
okay,
Um, if it's an event, like you want to make sure that you answer who you are, what the event is, so your event title, when and where it's happening, whether that's in person or it's virtual, the time, and then how people can be involved. So
okay.
if it's a Zoom call, what's the credentials to get involved in the Zoom call? If it's at a location, do I need to purchase a ticket? Is this a free event? Like all of those small details you can hit in one liners. And then if you have, if there's more in-depth information, that's when you revert them back to your website.